At treetop level, a fighter jet cuts through the air at nearly 1,000 kilometers per hour. Forests, roads, and scattered villages flash by in seconds. The aircraft flies dangerously low, hugging the terrain invisible to radar. Inside the cockpit, the pilot scans the horizon. This is the story of Viktor Belenko and his daring escape from the Soviet Union. Born in Nalchik on February 15, 1947, Viktor Belenko was abandoned by his mother at age of 2 and raised by relatives, then by his father and stepmother. He graduated high school with honors in 1965 and briefly studied medicine while training at the SAF Air Club. In 1967, he joined the Armavir Military Aviation School, graduating in 1971. Belenko served as a flight instructor, earned praise for his discipline, and was an active Communist Party member. Transferred to the Far East in 1975, Belenko was stationed near the Japanese border and given access to the MiG-25, one of the Soviet Union's most secret aircraft. Viktor Belenko seemingly enjoyed an ideal life, a distinguished position in the Soviet Air Force, financial stability, and a secure future. Nevertheless, he made the extraordinary decision to defect to the West. In later interviews, Belenko said his disillusionment began in childhood, noting contradictions between Soviet propaganda and daily life like food shortages. He complained about poor conditions for pilots, including canceled leave, incompetent leadership, and widespread drinking. After a dispute in 1975, he was briefly sent to a psychiatric hospital, a sign of the regime's repression. Belenko saw the USSR as a closed, hopeless system. With his wife planning to leave and no close family ties, he began planning his defection. A group of MiG-25 jets took off from airbase for routine training exercises. Suddenly, one of the aircraft abruptly ascended before descending rapidly toward the sea. To avoid detection by Soviet radar systems, Belenko flew at an extremely low altitude, skimming just about 100 feet above the water. Once he had crossed far enough into Japanese airspace, he climbed rapidly to 20,000 feet to ensure radar detection. Japanese controllers at Chitose Air Base in Hokkaido quickly picked up the intruder and couldn't identify it. Attempts to communicate with the pilot failed. Belenko's radio was set to the wrong channels. Belenko had again descended, hiding below cloud cover, and vanished from radar. Relying solely on his memory of flight charts, Belenko had initially aimed to land at Chitose, but with fuel running dangerously low, he had no choice but divert to the closest airfield, Hakodate Airport. After circling the airfield twice, he attempted a landing on a relatively short civilian runway. He landed just as Boeing 727 was taking off, narrowly avoiding a collision. The MiG tore down two poles and overshot the runway by around 300 yards. Belenko climbed out, fired warning shots from his pistol to scatter onlookers, and declared to airport staff that he sought political asylum in the United States. By evening, the incident had sparked an international scandal. The Soviet Union claimed Viktor Belenko had been kidnapped or drugged and demanded the return of both him and the MiG-25. President Gerald Ford approved his asylum the next day, angering the Soviets. Belenko was denounced as a traitor. US experts dismantled and studied the MiG-25. The jet was eventually returned to USSR in crates. The Soviets, furious at its condition, billed Japan for damages, an invoice Japan never paid. Soviet propaganda struggled with Belenko's defection. Media downplayed the event or called it Western lies. His wife and mother were shown on TV pleading for his return, but it had no effect. In the United States, Belenko was welcomed. He became a US citizen in 1980 and worked for a time as an aerospace consultant and lecturer. He married an American woman, had 2 sons, and lived a quiet life. He was convicted of treason in absentia by the Soviet Union and sentenced to death. After the fall of the USSR, Belenko visited Russia, but did not reconnect with his past. Viktor Belenko quietly passed away on September 24, 2023, following a brief illness. His sons, Tom and Paul, were at his side.